So I'm like, oh, you're going to die.
This is Kenton Claremont from Train to Hunt, and you're watching the Gritty Bowmen.
Is the only thing that's got me anywhere is hard work. That's all I got. I'm not the best shot. I'm not anything. So all I know is to work hard. So I can't really back off of it because that got me to the dance.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to keep riding it. All I can do is give all I got.
Yeah. Calling you fat and the macronutrient fat.
That's
we
right.
should have called it like oil.
We should have called it awesome.
Yeah. When did you know you really liked Cameron?
We became buddies like immediately.
Like
Once
right
we
off the
became
bat?
Friends. Yeah. Well, I had him on my podcast. It's the first time I met him, and he brought me a Hoyt bow. So how could I not love him?
I did.
What did you think when that happened?
I thought I made it.
I love it.
I thought I finally made it.
It's not. I am not joking.
I do not talk with my hands. I don't know what you're talking about.
I do not.
With my hands? My hands?
What? I just Randy Black Eagle.
That's it. Boom.
That's my.
That's how we roll. Just drop the mic and walk away.
On this episode of Gritty Bowmen, we visit with friend Scott Carr at Brent Hahns' home in Salem, Oregon, after one of Joel Turner's iron mine hunting shooting clinics. I first met Scott Carr at the Train to Hunt event in Enumclaw, Washington. My first impression of Scott, watching him shoot and run the Train to Hunt course, is that he's an animal, a fierce competitor who gives everything he's got. The man has heart, determination, and an iron will. Scott didn't used to be the fit guy he is today. In fact, before Train to Hunt, Scott was your typical 9-to-5 overweight company man. But Scott made a decision to change all that. And this weekend, he took third place in the 2016 Train to Hunt Nationals event Masters Division. There are a lot of things that impress me about Scott Carr, but one thing that stands out to me is how he makes a decision to get better and then finds a way to do it. On this podcast, Scott tells us his inspiring story. We get a peek into his mind and we learn a little about how he thinks and what drives him. Scott is one of the nicest guys I've ever met who also wants to crush you in a competition. I think that's one of the reasons I like him so much. He's a competitor and a fierce one. Meet Scott Carr.
Jim Braddock was the boxer's name. Anyways, but he made this marvelous comeback and was beating everybody, and he was winning, and I freaking sobbed, man, just because I love that victory,
Right.
Rudy.
Rudy.
Yeah, exactly. I guess everybody likes that.
Train to Hunt. It was so fun to film you guys in Enumclaw because I wasn't actually competing. I just got to heckle and watch and follow people around and then see people fight it out. And it was just fun, and it was inspiring.
And then yell at me across the parking lot, "I'm coming for you, car." I'm like,
it's all empty talk.
I hear that everywhere I go.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Gritty Bowmen podcast. I'm here with Scott Carr in Salem, Oregon.
Yep.
And fortunately, I got invited to come and hang out with Joel Turner at, to do his shooting seminar.
Yep.
And I've been tapping into Scott Carr's secrets for success in Train to Hunt and hunting. And it's been awesome, man. Today has been awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun.
I have learned a ton today. I'm pretty excited. I'll get Joel on the podcast in a few minutes after we're done. But I've been wanting to get you on the podcast since I saw you in Enumclaw for the first time. And for people who don't know you, take a minute and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty much lived in Oregon most of my life.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of Northern California, unfortunately, in high school years, but moved back as soon as I could. But, I've had the same job since 91 for the most part. I married my wife, Elizabeth Carr, in 95. We're still married, happily married, 3 kids, 22, 20, and 17.
You got some
fact,
older kids, yeah.
Yeah, we're almost done. Freedom.
Because you are in the Masters division.
I am.
In Train to Hunt, as am I.
A young Masters.
Totally, a young Masters.
Yeah, the young side.
I got beat by you handily, so, I mean.
Well, you didn't compete in my class.
Oh.
you went the team
I
route.
did go team route. I
Yeah.
did, but I could look at the numbers. You know, no, it's impressive though. What you guys are doing at your age. But anyway, I'm jumping ahead. So keep on.
You know, I started bow hunting. I mean, I've hunted my whole life. You know, at the age of 12, you're just, you know, antsy to get your hunter's education, and went through all that as a child, and you know, hunted with family and my father, and you know, never really. It was always just going out in the woods with family. It was more of a picnic than a hunting trip. But anyway, so about 2008, I got pretty serious about it. You know, and
what brought that on?
I don't know. I think, you know, it was just such a period of time when you're so busy building your career and raising a family, and finances kind of restrict you a little bit. Right. I got to a point where I could do it. Yeah. You know, like,
that's the same thing that happened to me right about 2005, 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
College. I finished college, and I had all kinds of excuses for not really giving hunting my full attention.
Yeah.
You know, like I do now. Like, I only got weekends, and it's hard to be a beast on the weekends only.
Sure.
Although a weekend warrior did a lot.
Yeah. So just you know, you just get more engaged. You know, the funny thing for me is I did a few guided hunts, you know, because I was kind of behind the curve. I wanted to learn how to hunt elk. I wasn't successful on my own. So I bought a guided hunt and went to Idaho and hunted, you know, public land with some guys in Chalice National Forest, and I went, man, these guys are fit, and they can climb mountains. And, it was, you know, that's probably the early stages of going, I got to change some things, you know. My position at work was pretty sedentary, and, you know, as time goes on, I just kind of was out of shape. And
it's real.
Yeah, and just fell in love with hunting again. But then it was a real focus on success and shooting well, and really getting dialed in with my bow, and anyways, I could go on forever about it, but killed a few elk in the last few years, and watching, you know, other hunters that were super fit, and it just inspired me to keep growing and changing and getting better and better. And you know.
And in your job where you were kind of sedentary, I mean, I remember sitting at a desk for 12 hours a day for like almost a month, you know, with this one job I was in, and then I went and did this service project at this lady's house. It was like chopping and moving wood and stuff. Spent like one day there. I couldn't walk for like a week.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like early 30s. It's pretty bad. Like, what the heck happened to me?
Yeah.
Just so many days just being completely inactive. Took its toll.
It does. Yeah, absolutely. You know, and you go do something. You know, we're young enough that we've got the heart and the desire to do whatever, but we can only do it for so long.
Yeah.
And then we're just out of muscle.
Yeah.
And whatever else to maintain.
So how did you, because I heard that, you know, you had quite a fitness transition in the last few years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where did you start from?
Well, you know, it all started with, you know, I guess the turning point for me was I had to speak in front of a large audience, a management event at work. So I'm standing in front of 100 of my company's top guys and talking about, you know, customer service and what my fleet department's going to do for them. And I'm standing there in a button-up shirt, and the buttons are pulling because my belly's so big. And I just felt like, how can I lead anybody down this path feeling and looking like this?
Yeah.
And I left that meeting and went straight to a nutrition consultant and started making changes right there. That was December 2013.
Wow.
And it's I just changed some eating and got on an elliptical because it was low pressure, right, on the joints. And I'd go and watch, you know, Born and Raised guys videos on a DVD on the TV screen in our office. We have a little fitness area, which is pretty cool. It's something I asked them to do, and they put in for me. Anyway, so I'd be just jamming away on that elliptical, thinking I was a rock star, you know, watching Born and Raised boys kill elk.
Yeah.
And it was on. So a few months later, a friend, Stuart Lance, he was a competitor in Oregon in the master's class, he says, "Hey, there's this train to hunt thing." This is back 2014 now. So 7 months later.
Yeah.
I know you've been running a lot and trying, and at that point I had transitioned to some running and got off the elliptical, and I was like, yeah, look, I'll give it a shot. That sounds fun,
Yeah.
I like to hunt.
Yeah.
And
Meet some people.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty a little bit introverted, I guess, but it just sounded fun to go try. I'd been watching it for the last couple of years when they're doing it at Bogus Basin or whatever, and always wanted to do it, but didn't have the courage to go try.
Right.
So I did it, and it was kind of like, it was on from then on. I mean, it was like I was in Kenton's ear all the time. I was like, what do I got to do to be competitive in this thing, And I probably drove the guy just that crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
And just totally got engaged in the train to hunt training program and maintained my relationship with the nutrition person I was working with, and just got full stupid.
and how long did it take before you were competitive and on the podium?
I was on the podium the first time I did it. I actually got second the first year I went in 2014. But I was a really good shot then, right?
Yeah.
And then, but didn't necessarily have the gas tank.
Okay.
Other than heart. I had a ton of heart, right?
Right.
And so, and train hunt wasn't as competitive then as it's gotten.
True.
The athletes are different right now than they were in 2014.
Oh, it's you can't just show up now.
Yeah.
You got to train for it.
No, yeah. Drew, they didn't have a Supermasters class, but you remember Drew Bailey? He was there. So it was me or Wayne
Endicott
in the number 1 spot, me at number 2, and Drew in number 3.
Yeah.
And there was, I don't know, 5 or 6 others that were part of that master's class at the time.
Right at the beginning.
Yeah, and it was fun. And, Wayne clearly outshoots everybody.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
And and such a good soul. We did the meat hall. I remember this. The meat hall then was 160 pounds.
You're right.
But we did,
I remember that.
You did 2 trips loaded and 1 trip empty to simulate, a loaded trip, an empty trip back. To the kill, and then the loaded trip back to the truck.
I never did. So, this is the first year I've done train to hunt, so I never did that. But I watched guys do it at one of the events.
Yeah. So I beat Wayne on the first leg, just through brute force and ignorance, and then endurance kicked in and Wayne passed me on the empty leg, and then he finished the third loaded leg, and then he came back up the hill and encouraged me for the last half of that part of the meat hall, clear back to the finish line.
Wow.
And I was just like, look at these guys, how supportive and I don't know, just good people. That was my first exposure to Wayne Endicott, and I was like, wow, this is kind of neat.
Yeah. Well, I would say that Train to Hunt has that community all around it.
Everywhere you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Now I've
without a doubt
8 times, and that's all you see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, I've been just to a couple now, but such a cool community to be part of, and everyone is just salt to the earth. It really is such a fine community.
Yeah.
So you went and you competed like that, Bug and Kenton. There's something I've noticed about you, just observing and hearing some things. Back to with the guide, fitness consultant, reaching out to Joel for shooting. You're someone who is going to find a way to learn or get good one way or another. And you're not afraid to go and find someone that's better at it than you and then ask them for help.
Yeah. No, I feel like that's it's just like in maybe how I've tried to raise my kids a little bit is if I can give them some shoulders to stand on and they can do a little better, then I'm there for that.
Yeah.
And and the same thing, if I can find somebody that will let me stand on their shoulders to grow and learn, absorb whatever I can from them, then I'm all ears.
Yeah. A lot of people don't pursue knowledge like that. They don't, and they're reluctant to go and ask for help.
Yeah.
Or to seek it from, you found some pretty talented people to go up and say, I need some help. Teach me. I think that's that's pretty unique. Not everybody does that.
I don't know. It works for me, I guess.
Well, you're doing it time and time again, getting to know the right people and getting the right training. Today is proof of that. I mean, I learned a lot from Joel Turner today.
Yeah.
Tremendous. He's a shooting instructor. He broke things down well. My shot vastly improved.
Yeah.
In one afternoon.
Well, his teaching style is so direct.
And,
And he makes you think a little bit, right? But he's an excellent coach or teacher, And
there's a lot of people who have taught me to shoot, and some I'm very grateful for. But Joel took it to another level today.
Yeah.
Definitely. So on that note,
it's funny how quick
I know
it works, right?
Right. And I can absolutely, it's completely different because, and I'll have him explain it because I won't be able to, but you were a good shot already before you met Joel.
Well, it was fair.
Okay.
It's through that fitness path, I lost the shooting.
Did you?
Yeah. I mean, so that early year where I shot well enough to get me on the podium.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next year, I ended up second place again to Wayne. Couldn't shoot for a crud, and blew him, and did very well. I don't want to say blew him away, but did very well physically.
Yeah,
because I had had a whole year of training and following the train to hunt training program, and running my rear end off. But my shooting was broken now because I focused so much on the physical. I just didn't. I was like, I'm already a good shot. I don't have to worry about the shooting.
Right.
And
didn't work out.
No, it wasn't helping me. So I was like, what the heck? I fixed myself physically quite a bit here.
Yeah.
But where did the mechanics go for the shooting? It was bad, And and then carried that into this season when I went to Reno and just shot miserably this year. And ended up fourth down in Reno at the regional, and I was like, that's it. I got to fix the shooting, and that's when I went on Facebook. I was like, has anybody got any ideas on some shooting coaching? I'd heard a podcast somewhere.
Yeah.
And Joel's name came up, and then signed up for his online program that came along with some text and voice coaching that, he provided. And immediately, as you've seen today, things improved.
Yeah.
And that's actually where I went to Washington and shot that 92. It was
bam.
Within a week or two after, getting involved in Joel's program.
Big jump in shooting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 30-point spread.
Well, today we did a 3D here, and I experienced the same. Like, most of the shots were, when I did it right, per instruction, it was dead center. It was like heart shots.
A little pressure and heckling on the side.
Yeah, on that too. Huge, night and day.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So if I can just practice this now, take what I've got, get home with it, and keep it up. It's so weird. Like he mentioned, you're not training when you're shooting. Most of the time, you're not training concentration. It's called iron mind shooting,
or iron mind hunting.
Iron mind hunting.
Yeah,
is Joel's kind of program. But the way it's different is we didn't talk about form, release, shooting, how we're gripping the bow, like none of that stuff. It was 100% focus.
Yeah.
Concentration. How are you concentrating? What are you saying to yourself?
Yeah.
We delved into a whole new level of training here. A whole different kind of it's a mind game. It was all in the head.
Yeah. And it's important to see Joel shoot. You see how he shoots, You see that concentration level he's got, that focus.
Yeah.
It's laser sharp.
Yeah.
He's in it.
He's in it. Well, this is a guy shooting a recurve as good as we're shooting a compound.
At the same distances.
At the same distances.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. Money.
That's flat out impressive.
Yeah. And then watch
this. He's not just talking to talk. He's delivering in his own shooting.
Sure. And then you watch his 9-year-old son following the same principles.
Yep. So you get this training from Joel, and you go back and you shoot that much better. Again, that's you going out, getting determined to find someone to help you, so you learn and you get better. That's very cool.
Yeah. No, thanks.
when you got into this last train to hunt, okay, so you were in Enumclaw.
Mm-hmm.
Did you expect yourself to do that well?
No, I think you always have expectations to do well.
Yeah.
And then as the shots go, you start getting in your head.
Yeah.
Self-talk creeps in. I guess fortunately there, I started, nailing the, train to hunt 5s right out of the gate.
Right.
So the confidence builds, right? And you're going,
I got this. This works.
Iron Mind's working for me here.
Yeah.
So if I'd have stepped in there and shot a couple 1s right out of the gate, train to hunt 1s, I might have very easily slipped back into bad habits.
Yeah. Early success definitely helped you stick with. It's like Dave Ramsey getting out of debt. He's like, you need to start paying off the small debts first and work your way up to the bigger ones, because you won't stick with the program if you don't taste a little success.
Yeah.
And certainly shooting today so well definitely makes me want to keep doing this style of shooting, concentration, because I want the results.
Sure. Yeah, and it's so easy to slip into those back to the bad habits, right? I mean, it's like Joel was honest today. If it's not perfect, don't release it.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna slip back into those bad habits by forcing those shots and things like that. And that's why I was here today, because I was slipping back into some of that, and I was,
When you did his online training, and what kind of stood out as an epiphany to you for the first time?
I think it was just, that, I guess the identification of what is an open loop control system versus a closed loop. I really, early on in the online training, he doesn't jump right into, he kind of builds up, and then bam, here it is. This is what it, and I guess it was the realization of what, what that closed loop does for you. Because I didn't understand this, recoil concept, and your body resists the recoil and all that. But the closed loop surprise release is uncomfortable.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So Joel is talking about, the fight or flight response, right? The adrenaline dumps into the system. You're at full draw. There's an elk coming, and your body, your survival instincts are telling it, get rid of the arrow, because as soon as that arrow is gone, boom, the stress is over.
Yeah.
Right? Whether you've hit it or not, like, the body doesn't care. It's trying to be as efficient as possible. It's trying to dump that arrow. It's survival. To short circuit that mechanism is something that I would short circuit by not concentrating. I'd actually just try to do it through like muscle memory and habit, right? Yeah. So that in the moment I don't even have to think about it. I just do it.
Yeah. It's
autopilot. But Joel's like, no, there's no such thing really as there is autopilot, but there's not accurate autopilot really.
Yeah.
And that was an eye opener for me.
Well,
because I kind of wanted to just be able to pull back and then just shoot and have it be perfect every time, because I practiced it so many times.
Yeah.
But kind of the way it sounded to me and the way it feels like today is it's more like, no, I have to be deliberate about each step, and I have to actually think about my shot and my plan. And if I'm halfway through it and it's not going as planned, I need to be able to just stop.
Let down.
Mm-hmm. It's different.
Reboot.
I have to have Joel explain it. So tell me, back to the whole train to hunt event. You lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, about 60 pounds.
That's a lot of weight, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like it's more, you know, because the transformation, I guess, is if you've seen
it's not just weight loss, it's muscle gain,
gain, fat loss, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Gain in confidence, whatever. I mean, a lot of positive changes, and the 60 pounds is like losing a first grader, right?
That's real talk right there.
You know, so I go run around with 80 pounds on my back, and really it's only 20 pounds more than I used to weigh.
Right.
You know?
Right.
That's kind of weird. Then you start thinking of that. You know?
It is. So how do you feel when you go hunt now? Success-wise and enjoyment-wise, and
I just know I can go farther, you know, and you know, back when I first started doing those hunts in Idaho and stuff, you know, we'd start on Sunday, and by Wednesday, if I didn't have my animal on the ground, I was torched. I needed a break. I mean,
Yeah.
you can only go so far on heart, right? And,
Right.
And you know, hips are aching and knees are screaming, and I needed a break, you know.
Yeah.
And now I can just go, you know. I can go for a weekend and hike 50 or 60 miles. It don't matter.
yeah.
You know, and if I get an animal, then I just load it up and carry it out. You know, last
It's a
year
whole different mindset.
took my brother into, you know, the deepest canyon in Oregon and helped him find a bear, and he shot it, and you know, we had our camps and everything, and you know, I loaded his bear, his hide, my camp, and then he got his camp and his gun, and out we went. He was, you know, and not to throw my brother under the bus, but he didn't have the gas to do it.
Right.
And I just took off. I said, I'll see you at the truck. You know the way. And I was fine. And it was just, I was like, this is why.
This is life.
This is
real
why
life.
I did it.
Yeah.
You know, I want to hunt these places that are beyond where, you know, the Keystone crowd can drive their trucks. And I hate to say it that way, but
Yeah.
you know,
How does a guy, you know, there's a lot of people who want to get into shape, a lot of people coming from your position. How do they get where you're at?
they just have to make a decision, right? Like kind of like Joel's teaching us about shooting, you know, and until a person's, I think, ready to make that decision and commit,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty tough, you know. It's pretty. It has, you know. I don't remember the analogy, but it has to do with like you have to want to succeed as much as you want to breathe, right? I mean, you got to be that committed to it, and until a person's ready to make that decision and commit to it,
Yeah.
it's a tough roller coaster to ride.
Because I'm going to say, I mean, as soon as you committed to it, you found a way.
Yeah. Well, I found a way. I did, but I had a lot of support,
Yeah.
and that helped. You know, my wife was remarkably supportive, you know, in the dietary changes that I needed to make, and you know, she's absolutely a key factor. You know, because it's kind of like living in a house with a smoker or two smokers, and one person wants to quit, right? And the other
Right.
one doesn't. Well, how's that going to work? You know,
Right.
so we had to do it together, and it's been remarkable, you know, for both of us.
How do your kids respond?
It's funny a little bit. I mean, my daughter, like on Father's Day, you know, she's like, let's do something really awesome today, Dad.
Yeah.
And it can't be a train to hunt workout. You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
But that's awesome.
you know?
But
She's
that's awesome.
She's like, let's go shoot guns, or let's go
Yeah.
to gun club and shoot. And I'm like, okay, we can do burpees or something between shots. She's like, no burpees. You're forbidden from burpees today. You know? But, you know, so they get a little bit, I think, wore out on it. You know, Dad's always
He's
train to
hardcore.
hunt this, train to hunt that, you
Yeah.
know. But, you know, it's the same way for her. She's a soccer player, you know, and it's all
Yeah.
about soccer for her. And she's committed to that and has made those conscious decisions that that's what she wants to do.
Yeah.
And we support it, you know.
So on the train to hunt thing, like one thing I always like to ask guys that can grind like you and like Russ Meyer and Lampers, you know, to win, you got to want it because it's a suffer fest.
Yeah.
So, you know, mental toughness, not everybody has that, you know.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, that's a grind, man. I mean, when you're on the meat hall and there's been a lot of self-talk out there. I mean,
What do you tell yourself? What do you say? What's your self-talk sound like?
there's a lot of things, but you know, probably the biggest one that rings in my ears is, a lot of people have reached out to me and said I inspire them. And maybe I'm getting a little emotional about this, but I kind of like that. it for some reason, it means a lot to me, you know, and it pulls on my heartstrings to know that maybe my little path here and the changes and whatever I'm doing is helping somebody else, you know. Yeah, I want to win, but I do, and that's for me a little bit, but I do feel it. Like, I don't want to let anybody down, you know. I've always been that way. I don't like to tell people no.
Yeah.
I don't, you know, whether it's in my job or in my relationship, I want to fix everything all the time for everybody. And it's the same thing in the train to hunt for me is I don't want to fail.
Yeah.
Doing something I've worked so hard at and for those that have supported me.
Yeah.
And those that I feel like are watching.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to do it for you, and that's supposed to be healthier, I guess. But I do it for everybody and myself.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why it motivates me.
No question. Like, I do want to interview people like you and others, and I want to learn from them, and I want to podcast that. But there's a whole part of me that wants to make a difference.
Yeah.
In people's lives, and so I'm driven to do this because I don't want to let people down, and I want to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's legit, man.
Yeah.
It's perfectly okay to feel that way and to do it. I don't. A lot of that motivation is because I just like people.
Yeah,
I really do, and I want to see people be awesome.
I like to see people win, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm such a sap. I watch movies and somebody's, you know, wins their whatever, you know, it's a boxing thing and the dude from New York, what was that movie with back, you know, during the Depression, you know, and Jim something. Anyways, I just watched it the other night, you know, and they went through the Depression and they were starving, and the kids were about to be shipped off to the in-laws, and Jim Braddock was the boxer's name. Anyways, but he made this marvelous comeback and was beating everybody, and he was winning, you know. And I freaking sobbed, man, just because I love that victory,
right?
You know,
Rudy.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I guess everybody likes that. You know?
Yeah. No, there are films that I watch, and if the end, the moral of the story is the guy failed, it's life, I'm like, chalk that up as a sucky movie.
Yeah.
I get so burnt over that. I get ticked off. I'm like, no, I want to watch a movie and be inspired.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to watch a movie and go, man, life sucks. It's not my thing.
Sure.
And you know, Train to Hunt, it was so fun to film you guys in Enumclaw because I wasn't actually competing. I just got to heckle and watch and follow people around and then see people fight it out. And it was just fun, and it was inspiring.
And then yell at me across the parking lot, "I'm coming for you, car." I'm like,
it's all empty talk.
I hear that everywhere I go.
Oh yeah, man! When you get on the top, people want to knock you off.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's awesome.
Part of that inspiration, I guess.
Yeah, part of that. I don't want to. Part of that drive that keeps you going.
Yeah.
No, it's super cool. What's cool about it too is how it transfers into hunting. I mean, there's no question that if you do Train to Hunt or similar shoots, and you learn to perform under pressure or not quit when things get tough, that's just life stuff. It transfers to life, not just hunting, not just an event, sports. It's when things get tough in life, you don't quit.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, Train to Hunt's not going to make you a better hunter. It's just going to make you you're just working in the moment. You're working on the process.
Yeah.
You know?
Who within Train to Hunt has been hugely influential to you? Who's kind of inspired you? Kind of made you want to be better? Who's that guy?
Well, I just about everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard to pin it down. I mean, sure, you take a look at Kenton. You know, absolutely. How could the guy not make you want to be better? I mean, the guy's a fit animal himself. Mm-hmm. You know, family
infectious
guy. Infectious. Good. Great personality. Fun to hang around. Very endearing.
Motivating.
Yeah, motivating. Yeah. You know, so but at every level, everybody's to some degree or another has some attribute that you'd like to aspire, I guess, to be more like. I get personal coaching from Ray Hibness out of Montana. He gives me my daily workouts. Got some sprinting and some ground to shoulders to do today. And Travis Smith from Oregon, who didn't compete this year, competed last year. He's a stone cold animal. I wish he'd have been there.
Yeah,
he's a tough fella, and he's helped me with some training and has given me some training coaching and I wish he'd have been there this year. He's quite the guy.
Really?
Yeah. He used to work for Wayne in the bow rack and set up my bow last year for me, and just a good guy. And
So in the middle of your meat pack, what are you saying to yourself?
Well, I think it starts with, why do you keep doing this?
I do that too.
I mean,
what am I doing here?
And then I guess I start answering it to myself, and it's like, because I've worked hard for this, because I've had a lot of support, because, and I want to win. I want to do my best, and I wanted to.
But what about when the voice is coming in? It's like, you can slow down. You got a little bit of a lead. There's some guys behind you. Take it easy.
No, because every 15 seconds is more points, right? Right? I mean, it's all about the spread. And so if I made a couple crummy shots on the 3D course, I better put 30 seconds on somebody to get a few points out of it.
Okay, so let me ask you another question. When you're running that course and you're in a hurry to make that good time, but you know how critical the shots are because they add time to your score.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you balance that whole process? Be fast, but have the discipline to not go so fast that you screw up the shots.
I think that's where your pre-event conditioning has to come into play, right? I mean, recovery is the key there.
Okay.
And if you can recover back to good shooting stature within 2 or 3 good breaths, then that's where you need to be, right?
Yeah.
If it takes you, if you come up to target and you range it and then you knock an arrow and you're still gassing for air, it's too long.
I got to do a lot more running for that to be successful.
So that's where the endurance really comes in, and that recovery is so important.
If they did the shooting after the station event,
that would be a lot harder.
I'd do great.
Oh, really?
Those are my rest moments. Box jumps, because it's all CrossFit.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff is great. And then you got to run to the next station. And then you got to shoot.
So you think your heart rate is at a lower point after 15 burpees than after running 600 yards?
You saw me do burpees.
Oh, you fly through them.
Those are like, those don't get me spent the way that the run does. And I'm not even running fast, and I'm sucking wind. And I get to the thing, and I'm like, I can't calm down from that. And so I've been running a lot the last month and a half. And I just did a 10K the other day, and I beat everybody but 2 people at our gym, 25 people there. I did, and I'm usually like toward the end. So I'm definitely getting better at it. But it's funny, like I thought CrossFit would prepare me a little better than it did. But really, the running part, I do end up doing so little running in the CrossFit arena that I can run, but I don't recover from it like right away, like I do from burpees or push-ups or stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, it's an important part. I mean, that's what
hunting really is.
Earlier on,
you are running, right? Like a lot of times you're running.
You got a bull coming up the edge of a clear cut, and you're
not doing burpees.
You're trying to meet him at the top. You're going to be hustling. You're climbing and dodging stumps and up and over logs and under logs, whatever it takes to get there. And you're going to have the gas to make the shot. Then,
it's brutal. I like to know what guy's thinking when he's in that moment. So when you're about to shoot, what are you telling yourself then? I mean, you just going through your process like Joel taught?
I do now, yeah. It's what is it? The mantra, the draw, aim, watch it to keep it.
Watch it to keep it.
Keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. And I've applied it.
Yeah.
out there. Set the hook real deep.
That whole set the hook and the new release that I'm using and all that, that's a whole game changer.
Yeah.
It's not at all how I've done it in the past.
No. I mean, it's a total departure from what we're accustomed to when we started learning how to shoot BB guns, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and that trigger action's not a factor anymore. Not something.
Well, at least I have a little better chance now at shooting semi-well, now that I've been here and stole some of those secrets.
I really was trying to keep that quiet.
Joel ruined that for you.
Yeah. I felt bad in the podcast there with Russ, and then when I quoted some of Joel's statements without giving him credit.
David Brinker was like he's been telling me I got to go meet Joel and interview him over at Sitka, and had a couple conversations, and I loved what he had to say on the Sharp Sticks podcast with Chris and Becky, and so I was kind of,
headed down that.
I was, but it just got schedules full, and so I'm glad I was able to meet up with him before I left Oregon.
Sure.
So,
pretty remarkable guy.
Yeah. Well, anything, if people want to follow Scott Carr, where are you? Are you on Instagram?
I do have Instagram.
And it's
Carr Hunts.
Carr Hunts.
Yeah. I don't know why I come up with that, but it works.
And it's 2 R's.
2 R's. Yeah.
Carr Hunts.
Scott Carr, but it's been when I was a video game nerd, it was Carr was my tag name for playing Half-Life while I was drinking Diet Pepsis and eating Twinkies playing video games.
That's an old Scott right there.
It was Carr on my jersey when I played football as a kid. It's just stuck with me. So it's
good,
Carr Hunts now.
It's good. It's good. And then Train Hunt's coming up on August
13th.
13th
and 14th.
In Utah.
Yep.
Question for you there. How do you feel about this event coming up?
Well, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, you get told enough times that I'm coming after you. You feel like a hunted person.
Well, when you're up there and you're winning,
yeah,
people, there's no question.
Sure. And, I went and did the Utah Regional, whenever that was it 3-4 weeks ago?
Uh-huh.
And, I had hoped that I had kind of out-trained what the altitude would do to me.
Yeah.
But it's still there.
Absolutely.
That
we were just there at the Total Archery Challenge like last weekend. It was brutal.
Yeah.
In fact, I came back after being there a week and did a 10K here, and I felt amazing.
Oh, well.
So.
Yeah. So I'm going to go early.
Yeah.
I talked to my doctor about it. He's like, 3 days.
3 days.
You need 36 hours to acclimate. Doesn't seem like enough.
Yeah.
Fortunately.
I ran a 5K up there at 8,000 feet.
Yeah.
9,000 feet. And then ran and did some other stuff. And then I came back here and then did the 10K. I felt great. I really did.
You did a 5K when you were just
when
back
I was
there?
in Utah.
Oh.
Up on the mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go, and there's a little town called Brighton.
Yeah.
It's 8,000 or 9,000 feet. I'd like to go hang out there for that 3 days.
You're not messing around, dude.
I'm looking at it, and just try to acclimate. I mean, I've been to nationals twice, right? And those were both in Colorado, and that was at over 7,000 feet too, and you feel it.
Yeah, you do.
It's just a grind, So Utah's coming. I'm worried about the altitude. You can't take away the fact that Willie Beebe, who's the reigning national champ, the guy is
machine.
He's a machine. He's got lungs.
Yeah.
From, I don't know where they all come from, but
no,
and you can't find a nicer guy.
Yeah.
So you don't want to beat him because you don't like him. You just want to beat him because you want to. But anyways, I'm nervous, and Chris Bowen, he's another tough guy that.
So if you don't win, how are you going to feel about that? You prepared for that?
I'm prepared for that. I know that I've trained as hard as I can to this point. I've worked my rear end off.
Yeah.
And
for people who don't know, like, what kind of miles are you putting in?
Well, right now, I try to run with that pack, 3 to 4 miles a couple times a week. I
80-pound pack,
80 to 100.
3 to 4 times a week.
Yeah.
And about how many miles? 2 miles?
No, I don't. Usually at least 3, if not 4.
Okay.
I've got a little loop there. I'd run by the office, a little park that enables me to do about a 1 mile trail run, and then there's a nice little hill I can run up and down like 10 or 12 times. It equates to about a mile of hills, and then back to the truck.
So I was doing that, and then I ran without a pack.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did that seem easy?
Yeah. Yeah, and it paces up a little bit.
Yeah,
too.
totally.
Yeah.
But tell me this, as you've done this and you've run, what do you think about that? Like, people got a little bit of not hate, but people going, "You're dumb for running with a backpack." And it's really more of a shuffle when you got 80 pounds or 100 pounds. It's not quite a run. It's not like you're, jarring. But what do you think about that in terms of health and in your knees and all that? Because I get all this kind of people saying it's a problem, and yet for me, I keep saying it. I feel stronger.
Yeah, I don't know. On what basis do you have to share that opinion? I guess I mean, I've done it. Okay, I've done over 90 miles in a month of running with a pack. When I got back from Reno, I was pretty upset with myself, and I punished myself with a backpack for a month.
Yeah,
and
you adapt.
I was fine. You just adapt. I would rather run with my pack than without, to be quite honest with you. The impact is different.
Yeah,
it is more of a
It's almost
shuffle.
gentler, and it uses your muscles rather than you can't get away with the jarring. I think you get without a pack.
You can't stride out, and it's just the different mechanics to the run. And I don't know. A lot of folks are willing to offer their opinion on social media, and sometimes it's somewhat unfounded.
Yeah,
or maybe even in most cases unfounded. So
but you've done it, and you've experienced.
Little things. I've had a little knee swelling here or there, or whatever. I take some supplements to shore up some of that. And I've had knee surgeries in the past, from a football injury or whatever, but I'm fine.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like it's compromising anything. I think it's stronger. You got to stabilize a joint with muscle, right?
Right.
And I just feel like I'm getting stronger and stronger, and it works for me.
Yeah.
And if you don't, if another individual believes differently, then fine, believe that.
Cameron Hahns, he puts on some serious miles and does some serious stuff to his body. He'll get swelling and soreness and all that. It's part of the process, but in the end, the idea is to be healthier, stronger, fitter.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've
done it. A lot of people say the same thing about me with CrossFit and other things. They're like, look, you shouldn't be picking up that much weight. You shouldn't pick up a stone like that. You're gonna herniate your back and all that. And I'm like, actually, it feels really good. I worked my way up to this slowly over time, carefully, in a controlled situation, to the point where that much load is something I feel is safe for me. I still have yet to be injured.
Yeah. Well, you've had good
Knock on
coaching,
wood.
right? You've had good coaching.
I have, and
listened.
Like you, I really obsess about good coaching.
Yeah.
I find people who know what they're talking about, and then I try to learn from them.
Sure.
And it definitely separates the successful people from the unsuccessful, I think. Yeah. Leveraging other people that have experience and knowledge and that are experts in their field is awesome.
Yeah.
So, well, I wish you luck, dude.
Yeah, thanks.
I wish you luck, man. You've inspired me. It's been cool to watch all you guys compete, and I'm excited to see how it goes and see who that winner is.
Well,
at this point, really, dude, I hate to see you lose.
Well, me too. It's a pretty sizable investment in time, and but it is what it is. And I think you ask how you're going to feel about it. I'll be okay with it, because whatever the outcome, because I know I'll give it.
You didn't leave anything on the table.
Yeah, I'll give it my all, right? Yeah. And I will expend everything I got to do well, and
If someone beats you, it
Someone
won't be
beats
because
me,
you didn't give it everything you had.
Yeah, they earned it.
Yeah.
You know, they had some gift or something that carried them to that level, or to victory. You know,
Well, certainly there. I mean, I wanted to be Michael Jordan. It didn't work out, though.
Yeah.
And I think that, it didn't matter how hard I worked. At some level, there's some people that are just fitter, stronger, more capable. But as long as I'm reaching my maximum potential, physical and mental capabilities, I feel good about me.
Sure.
And what I'm doing and how I'm doing. I don't expect myself to be Michael Jordan on the basketball court, or whoever. But I expect me to be the best version of me.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's perfect. I mean, that's where I want to be.
Yeah.
Just know that I did my best. I performed to the highest level that I've prepared for to this point. And if those pieces all come together,
yeah,
then so be it, wherever I end up.
If people want to go see a little video, I've got a little video of the Enumclaw Train to Hunt event.
Mm-hmm.
And people should go check that out and give it a little watch, just a short film. Then get a taste for what Train to Hunt might look like, what guys look like running with a heavy pack.
Yeah.
What the finish line looks like. Just a little taste of some of that. And then go to traintohunt.com, go to Train to Hunt Facebook, and you can look at posts there and get a feel for it too.
Yeah, the live feeds that come, like during an event that, like this last one in Wyoming where Lane, ran along and did the whole course. It was 20-some minute live feed. It was shaky and blurry, but a person got to go along for the ride.
Yeah,
I
think it's cool. I think it's really neat. I hope they went and did one in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
so it went way east.
I think this weekend is Minnesota or Wisconsin or something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's neat though. I love to see it grow, dude. Love to see it get bigger.
So. Yeah, I hope it does. I hope it maintains. You know, and
yep. Well, dude, good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
Seriously, good luck.
Yeah.
Kick Russ Meyer's butt. Do your best. Smother lampers. And then I'll tell them to do the same to you, and we'll sort of
hey, get along.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. It's so cool though. Like you said earlier, for me, it's like I like all y'all so much that I don't care who wins. It's just neat to see you all go for it.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight race. I think that the point spread from probably the first 6 positions is going to be a very narrow margin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Very cool. All right, man.
A lot of tough guys.
Good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
Stay gritty.
Yep. Stay gritty.
Okay, gritty friends. I hope you enjoyed that podcast. If you did, please take a moment to leave us a review on iTunes, Podbean, or Stitcher. We love reading your reviews. And connect with us on social media if you're on there. Look us up on Facebook and Instagram. And take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can receive notifications when we upload new videos. We've got a sweet deal with Mountain Ops. You get 20% off on all Mountain Ops supplements, combo packs, and apparel when you type in the word gritty at checkout. If you're a hardcore elk hunter, or you want to be, go to the Elk 101 website online and check them out. Our friend Corey Jacobson is killing it with some of the best elk hunting information and entertainment on the web. If you haven't heard, we're doing a huge gear giveaway to try and grow and expand the gritty community on Facebook and Instagram. I asked a bunch of friends to pitch in on this gear giveaway, and they all came through with some awesome stuff. Our friends at Kafaru, Rockslide, First Light, Phelps Game Calls, One Shot Gear, Mountain Ops, Triple X Archery, Blacktail Outdoors, and Is It September Yet are pitching in some sweet gear for the giveaway. We'll announce all the details in the next few weeks. All you have to do to be entered to win is like our Gritty Bowmen Facebook page and follow us on Instagram. All right, friends, let me leave you with one other quote from Theodore Roosevelt, who said, "It behooves every man to remember that the work of the critic is of altogether secondary importance, and that, in the end, progress is accomplished by the man who does things." We all have a choice. We can be people who do things or people who criticize the work of others. It's pretty simple, really. Get out there and do your thing. Good luck on your hunts, and stay gritty.
This is Ty Stubblefield, and you're listening to the Gritty Bowmen.
Gritty Bowmen.
Train to Hunt. It was so fun to film you guys in Enumclaw because I wasn't actually competing. I just got to heckle and watch and follow people around and then see people fight it out. And it was just fun, and it was inspiring.
And then yell at me across the parking lot, "I'm coming for you, Carr." I'm like,
it's all empty talk.
I hear that everywhere I go.